head towards the green flag. It will be further down the straightaway. We won't get the green till the turn 1 flag stand to make sure everyone's up on the front straight. There's a look at Adam Jabay holding the flag. Green flag, and we're underway in Eibach GLTC. Nice orderly start into turn 1 for the first time. Magnussen leads the way. It was someone in the background. I think that was Andy Smedegaard. Took a look 3 wide, but wasn't able to get there. And here comes Eric Kutil on the outside of Matan Rosenberg. Those two have battled wheel to wheel here dozens of times.
Oh, Paul Darling gets really wide at 2, and Magnussen chose the inside line into 1, and he took advantage of it. He's put enough of a gap so that Matan couldn't get overlap into turn 2.
And this is great battle here for second place. Kutil is going to get the spot. That's in a very important position for him to grab right now in that much lighter Honda Civic. A little bit of dust flying out of turn 3, but everything so far so good. Side by side between Darling and I think is that Marchev behind that he's a door-to-door with, or Aaron Meadows
yep.
rather, in the number 3 Corvette. So far so clean through 6.
Great job from Paul Darling. He was way wide in turn 2, and he somehow recovered into 4th place heading into turn 7 as Eric got such a better drive out of 3 that he got rid of the overlap between him and Tan. He's got a clear grasp on 2nd place right now.
Yeah, really, really important pass in this championship fight. I don't know, Magnussen looks like he's just dialed in this weekend, but so was Kutil at CMP. If you recall, 17-second win margin there in South Carolina. So Eric Kutil in this hybrid racing EG knows how to get it done. He's closed in on Magnussen for the lead. These cars, again, 1,000 pounds different in their builds.
Yeah, and he's closed the gap to Magnussen. He's made it a 2-way fight for first, and they've kind of left Matan behind. We'll see if Matan can get warmed up a little bit and start catching these guys. They themselves have a pretty good gap. Yeah, Matan has opened up what must be a 10-car gap to Meadows, and Paul Darling has gotten left behind. He's no longer in the top 5. I'm not sure what's happened to him. Hopefully it's not a problem out on track.
Dana Basinski was side by side with, I think, Matt Waldbaum as they came into turn 11, and the big lockup into turn 11. Did everybody get out of that okay? It seems like they have. Across the stripe there, Magnussen leads Kutil right behind. The battles are deep and thrilling all the way through the field here on the opening lap.
Yeah, these top 3 are really close together. Then you got Meadows in 4th, and then you've got this big fight for 5th between Waldbaum, Dana Basinski, and Andy Smedgaard.
Yeah, Jackie Ding was making some changes to his A86 Corolla this morning. Top 15 yesterday, he was going for top 10 today, so making some changes. There is Salil Shukla moving forward in that black M3, chasing teammate Dai Win in the 888 red Subaru BRZ. Here's Basinski and Waldbaum again, door-to-door teammates here, and big swing over from Robert Thorne in the rainbow and black S2000 chasing Tony Marchev. Great fight back here for P6.
Yeah, this a great job from Matt and Dana there, and now Tony Marchev is going to, excuse me, that's Eric Jensen? No, that's Andy Smedgaard, trying to make it a fight between Dana. Andy's lost a ton of places here on this first lap, so we'll see if he can make his way back. Again, I'm curious to see what happened to Paul Darling. He's no longer in this field. Hopefully he's not stuck out there somewhere.
Yeah, he was fighting some overheating issues yesterday. Smedegaard had a rock in the radiator that was causing some problems for him. Was under the car last night late, fixing it. Goes up the inside of Basinski into 10B, pulls alongside the fellow ASM car. And it's going to be a drag race up the backstretch. He
really bullied his way onto to establish overlap with Dana, and Dana had to give it to him because of the way that our rules are written and the sportsmanship in this category. But he managed to have a better drive on the outside of 10B, and now they're still side by side into 11. They're just going to lose touch with Waldbaum if they keep fighting like this. And Marchev wants to make it a 3-way fight. Yep. He's going to make it a 3-wide down the front straightaway. 3
across at GingerMan Raceway. This is going to be tough math and trouble. A little bit of contact into turn 1, and Smedegaard got squeezed out there. And here comes Robert Thorne to take advantage of it. A whole bunch of front engine, rear drive, lightweight chassis battling in turn 2.
Marchev wants no part of this. He's trying to back out and trying to get back into a calm rhythm. Robert Thorne's not going to let him. He has the outside heading out of 2.
Yeah, this is good stuff here. Didn't want the contact, but it was just the slightest of touches. A little bit of tire smoke will all continue, no problem. Marchev and Robert Thorne now side by side. Thorne hasn't driven this car in a while. Raced it in race 4 at Road America last year, but since then has not run an Eibach GLTC. He admitted yesterday he's a little rusty, but he's coming back up to pace now.
In his previous races, he's shown a lot of aggression and a lot of talent, so he's really finding his groove back. You have to remember, he used to run Pirelli World Challenge with Flying Lizard Racing, so he's got some racing chops under his belt. He's nothing to scoff at here.
Yeah, Lena Chin in that blue and orange car right behind, and then just behind that is Blake Korth, new to Eibach GLTC, in what was Aaron Lichty's Porsche Cayman, that white car in trail of the blue and orange at the moment, and Sam Scott, the little MX-5 that could right now, chasing this group as well.
Yeah, great. Lena has stayed in her 10th spot here, done a great job of maintaining her position in the top 10. She's going to have to fight around with Scott and Korth here in the old winning Formula Cayman.
And in turn 11, here's your battle for the lead. The gold M3, Eric Magnussen not able to get away. Great run by Kutil, leaving turn 11. He is closing in this hybrid racing EG. This car has had so much done to it to basically take on the silhouette of a 1992 era JTCC Honda Civic. Sparks flying from the titanium rub blocks underneath the nose of that car. He put brand new ones on for this season.
Eric is slowly reeling him in, and he gets overlap on the exit of 2. Now he's got the advantageous inside heading into turn 3.
Side by side for the lead. Magnussen pulls ahead, but Kutil later on the brakes has ABS this year. It's going to help him here at turn 3, but the long way around might be the way to win this battle. Side by side as they leave corner number 3. Kutil trying to sneak by Eric Magnussen. He can't do it here. He'll have to wait behind him. Matan Rosenberg smells blood in the water with these two battling.
Yeah, these two battling has brought Matan back into this fight, and if they keep doing this, if this becomes a 3-way fight, Eric Meadows is going to be right there to catch up to them, and then Matt Walbaum is right there in 5th. He's trying to close that gap himself, and Thorn and Smedgaard are fighting it out there for 7th and 8th.
Kutil the long way around at turn 7. Can he get overlap there? Not quite. He'll have to tuck in behind. Tough math to go side by side here, but he is hounding Magnussen to the inside of 9, and here comes Kutil, door to door once again, and the battle is on at the front of the field.
You don't see a lot of wheel-to-wheel action in 7, 8, 9. He's gotten the outside. He's going to try and get better drive out of 10B to try and challenge him into 11 for that lead.
It's going to be tough math here, but who does Matan Rosenberg push? He's not going to even get there because Magnussen, again, with the torque of that LS swap M3, clears Eric Kutil, and Kutil's now vulnerable to the Falcon Corvette in trail, but Rosenberg won't go for the lunge this time, but he's sizing up that Honda Civic in front.
Yeah, Matan has to choose if he's going to try and work with Eric to try and catch up to the other Eric for the lead, or if they're going to fight it out amongst themselves.
3-way fight for the top spot. You mentioned Eric Meadows. He just ran the best lap of the race. You see the purple wipe across the screen. Fastest car on the racetrack right now. Here's Ryan Power and Joel Morrison. This is a battle down the order a little ways. Here comes Morrison to driver's left. Jackie Ding chasing for that position as well.
Yeah, great battle here all around the field as we look down into turn 3. Magnussen still with the lead over Kutil and Matan. They're separated around equally. Meadows is definitely closing that gap, and Waldbaum himself is closing it. Dana Basinski has now cleared the rest of the field for 6th place. He's going to try and catch Matt as well.
The temperature has dropped a little bit, but the embers are still glowing in this battle for the top spot, aren't they? 3 car lengths between them, maybe 2. Kutil much better in sector 2, where you're leaning on the downforce, you're leaning on the balance of the car. That M3 out front is a lot heavier. And here's a battle a little bit deeper in the field. Thorn and that's Andy Smedgaard. They've swapped positions, so move Thorn to 7th, Smedgaard to 8th, and Tony Marchev watching on from 9th.
Yeah, we'll see if Smedgaard can keep fighting it out with Thorn. Oh, as Eric gets overlap into 8, let's see if he can have the drive to maintain it into 10B. Looks like not. He didn't have a lot of success staying on the outside of 10B. He's going to try to over-under it on Magnussen heading out of 10B.
Yeah, but again, it's going to be so hard for this car to match the performance of Magnussen up on the back straight. Magnussen's added this big rear wing. He said the aero really helps out here at GingerMan Raceway, but again, the strength of that M3 in the straight line, just leaving Kutil in the dust. So where Kutil is good in the corners, it's just very difficult to use that as an advantage. So he's going to have to get it done in sector 2. So over here by 7, 8, 9, as we watch Chandler Rowe go at it with Kyle Hale deep in the field.
Yeah, great fight there, and Jim Smith is trying to make his way into there as well. I think Jim must have lost some positions because he started in 20th. So unless Chandler Rowe has made up even more spots than they did yesterday.
Yeah, side by side. This is a battle for about 26th spot. Here comes James Smith on the outside in that S2000. Little wiggle there by the graffiti paint job number 222. That's a fun fight to watch, isn't it?
Yeah, still overlap into turn 1. Chandler on the outside, and Smedgaard is trying to make a pass on Robert Thorne again. I was wondering whether they were going to try and help each other to catch the cars ahead, but no, they're just going to fight it out amongst each other. They care about that 7th and 8th spot.
Yeah, this is a great battle here. 2 front-engine, rear-drive cars of slightly different vintages. The S2000, about a decade older in that FRS that's running with the FA24. Big cloud over the curb there for the left rear wheel there. You know, you and I both looked at that and said that can't possibly be good for the car.
You don't often go wheel-to-wheel into turn 5, and they somehow pulled it off, although with a little bit of a curb hitting from Smedgaard.
Here we go again. Here comes Kutil. He needs to take advantage of this in this section. He needs to figure out how to clear Magnussen over on this side of the racetrack. He's running out of time, running out of laps, but not running out of gusto. Around the outside here at 10B, pulls even
no
with
quarter
Magnussen.
given. Yeah, Kutil is trying to force a mistake by Magnussen. He knows he can't make the pass on the back straight, but he's just trying to force Magnussen into a big enough mistake so he loses momentum, so he can try and get an advantage on the braking zone of turn 11.
Yeah, that M3 is just a rocket ship, isn't it? But Kutil's able to eat it back up here. Watch the acceleration out of 11. Going to carry much more speed. He's going to have a look here, but where do you go with it? Nothing to do on the front straightaway, but Kutil is all over him here. 4.5 minutes to go, and the battle's on again at the front of the field. Magnussen on defense. He feels the pressure from this white and green Civic and Trail.
All Eric does is he needs to gain, he needs to make overlap into turn 1 so he can ride him all the way 1 and 2 and try and establish position. But again, Magnussen's got that better drive on the second phase of that exit. So again, I think Kutil's looking for an advantage on the entry and then trying to stay ahead of him into the next corner.
As long as he can get him to compromise his line, he stands a chance of winning this race. But this is going to be such an uphill battle here. This M3 has a much more advantage. Trouble on the front straightaway. Joe Tulo has lost a motor or something. There's smoke coming from it. We'll see if there's fluid down. We got to race all the way back no matter what. But here comes Magnussen leaving 6, and Kutil is closer than he was last time around into an area he's much better.
Kutil keeps catching him in the complex of 5 all the way through 10B, but he can't find a way to put the power down the back straight to pass him. Meanwhile, they've lost touch with Matan Rosenberg, who's falling into the clutches of Eric Meadows for that third place spot.
Kutil again on the grass to the inside, trying everything, every inch of the racetrack in Kutil's hands now, jumping the curbs. He needs to get overlap in a corner and keep it.
Yeah, absolutely. He needs to find a way to do it in the middle of the track. I don't think he's going to be able to find a way past him into 11, but
what he needs is a push from Matan Rosenberg. Can Rosenberg get to him and give him a shove up the backstretch? That would help. I don't know if Kutil's got enough gear.
I don't know if Matan would be willing to do that. They're fighting for the championship. If he puts him into first place, that's a bigger point gap that he has to make up some other time.
It's true, but if you get Kutil and Magnussen to battle side by side, it gives him an opportunity to pass for second or even the win. Up onto the front straightaway, no white flag this time, so we're at least 2 laps to go.
And no debris flag either, so that car must have not put down any fluid, which is great. That leaves this battle going to the checkered under green conditions.
Kutil trying everything to the inside again, leaving turn 2. All he needs to do is get Magnussen to compromise his line. Looking left, looking right. Last time he swung to the outside. This time he's going to try to keep it up the inside to see Magnussen cover to defend, but is it going to slow him up on corner exit? He's doing such a nice job defending in this gold BMW.
Yeah, he's not defending a clear air there. He knows that he gets just enough out of the overlap to cut down on Eric and maintain his racing line into turn 3. I think Magnussen is perfectly comfortable here. He knows he doesn't have to beat him in this sector because he can go past him into turn 11 and maintain his lead. It's going to come down to a mistake by Magnussen, I think, for Kutil to get past him.
And for Kutil, this is frustrating. If you look at the lap times, they're almost identical, but they just make the time in such different ways, and it's a way that's challenging to make the pass. But he's going to try to tuck to the inside. No, he's going to go the long way this time around and try to swing the outside, but he's out of control and touches the grass. Kutil leaving nothing on the edge of the road, and here comes Rosenberg to take advantage of it.
And the other interesting thing here is Kutil has had 2 weekends with warnings, so he can't be making contact. He can't do, a little cheeky shove, a little bit of a bump and run. He can't do it. He's going to get a penalty from that, so he has to race completely clean to get this pass done.
Yeah, he's vulnerable now to Rosenberg, but Rosenberg's and Kutil's car are very evenly matched on the straightaways. Rosenberg's car does not have the straight line advantage that Magnussen's does, even though they're V8s. Again, completely different styles of V8 build, so they're not necessarily going to run the same straight line speed. White flag, 1 lap to go here in this 15-minute race.
And now Kutil, he just has to defend his position. These points matter. He has to be able to get these points over from Matan. I think he's got to switch his focus now to just maintain that second place spot away from Matan.
What a battle. Here comes Eric Meadows trying to get up onto the podium here in that black Corvette behind Rosenberg, whose car just shot fire. All the cars that shoot fire are better than cars that don't shoot fire. That's what I've always said. And Rosenberg might be about to lose a podium spot here.
Yeah, Meadows has done a really great job of getting back in touch with this group. If Matan makes a mistake, Meadows is going to jump on that for sure.
Into turns 5 and 6. Huge flames out the sides of the side pipes of Magnussen's M3. I don't know that Kutil's got anything left. He's used up all of his tire, but valiant effort, I have to say, in that Honda Civic.
You could see the desperation. That last lap, he tried to make a move. He tried to force something for Magnussen to do abnormal from what he's used to doing to force a mistake, and it caused him to go wide in 9, which took him off the back of it, but he's catching back up.
Not done yet. The race isn't over till the checkered flag flies. Kutil's going to have to find some magic if he wants to overtake this gold BMW. Magnussen has made no mistakes yet.
Yeah, very, very impressive race from Magnussen. And Kutil got overlap again on exit, but Magnussen's going to rocket past him down the straight. Yeah, Kutil's playing the championship game here. He's trying to race clean, not get any penalties, not get any further warnings.
Well, if they finish like this, Kutil will retake the championship lead, but Magnussen is going to eat up their advantage in the season-long points. Magnussen is going to come out of turn 11, and for the second time in his career, after yesterday's win, he doubles up. 2 wins for Eric Magnussen at GRIDLIFE Midwest Festival. Kutil, Rosenberg, Meadows, Waldbaum, your top 5. What an amazing fight there as we go back to the start-finish line to catch the rest of the field here. It's going to be Robert Thorne down in 7th place. Tony Marchev, I believe, will come home in 8th. And here's this battle coming up the backstretch here. Chandler Rowe, Kyle Hale, they continue to battle. And Jackie Ding, Joel Morrison, last corner fight between these two.
Yeah, Jackie Ding looks like he has a lot of trouble with maintaining his car balance through the rest of the race.
Trouble for Jack Wishmeyer in the last corner. Big smoke out of his car. He went straight off into the pits, so maybe an engine issue there for him as the rest of the field comes across the stripe to finish out Eibach GLTC race number 2. What a fight across the line. That was really tight between Rowe, Hale, Jim Smith.
Smedgaard didn't make the finish. He's pulled into the pits here.
Uh-oh. So some kind of problem for Andy Smedgaard. And there's Ryan Power. He looks like he's, for a moment, maybe lost power.
Yeah, he went through the cutout of the 10A cutout. But yeah, great race by Magnussen. He did a really great job defending nice and clean, didn't defend clear air, knew what the advantage of his car was, and he maintained that lead. A great race from Magnussen.
Yeah, well done, well defended. Eric Kutil is going to be really frustrated by that because Eric is a hardcore competitor. But again, the cars are making the same lap time. You just have to take advantage of it where you can. Magnussen wins race 2. Eric Kutil half a second back. He was tighter and closer than that for the majority of the race. Matan Rosenberg, Eric Meadows, Matt Waldbaum, your top 5. Basinski, Thorne, Marchev, Zhang, and Chin, your top 10, Ito.
Yeah, Zhang making a lot. Peter Zhang getting a lot of gains there. Blake Korth in 11th, Sam Scott in 12th, James Cathers in 13th, Eric Jensen in 14th, Carlos Mendez in 15th, Joel Morrison making that last lap pass on Jackie Ding for 16th, Eric De La Riva in 18th, a good recovery for him, Zach Lavoie in 19th, and Salil Shukla, who gained 20 spots to get into the 20th position.
Yeah, plus 21 for Shukla there. Gary Wimble, they got that car back on track after the diff went out yesterday in GLGT. Kyle Hale, Chandler Rowe by, what is that, a couple 700ths of a second for 22nd place.
But he gained another 10 spots in that race.
Another impressive drive. James Smith, Thomas Lathrop, Clayton Fitzpatrick, Kerry James, Michael Pagano, Ayrton Graham up a bunch of spots as well from the tail of the grid after some issues early on, and Azmat Muhammad in 30th place. Last couple of drivers, Seth Gale, Jonathan Lugod on the lead lap. Smedgaard, Wishmeyer, Power, Natalie Latos, Stan Precourt all had some issues down a lap. Joe Tulo, Dai Win, and Louis Chatroop, the rest of your running order. At the very end, Paul Darling, he ended up off court. Did he end up somewhere else? I didn't see where he was.
He pulled off between 7, 8, 9 on the first lap. Not sure what happened to him.
Yeah, but that is Eibach GRIDLIFE Touring Cup race number 2. Let's have a look at the highlights from a thrilling race. Eibach GLTC race 2 started with the run to turn 1 where Magnussen and Rosenberg got very, very tight. Early on, it was Kutil that slid into 2nd place. How about this battle, Smedgaard versus Basinski into 11?
Yeah, and then Marchev joined them for 3 wide down the front straightaway.
And then look, this battle for 2nd place between Kutil and Rosenberg. Before this one, a bit deeper in the field, Muhammad, Pagano, Salil Shukla, Dai Win, all fighting for position a bit deeper in the field. And then the battle for the lead, persistently a fight between Magnussen and Kutil up the back straightaway. Every time Kutil lost the drag race, but would find the advantage somewhere else in the corners, in the braking zones with that much lighter car.
Yeah, a great battle, and you can see Eric was really desperate to try and make Magnussen make a mistake, and he went wide in 10.
And Eric Magnussen, again, he had to wait about a year and a half to get his first win, but only 24 hours for his second one. Kutil did everything he could to try to sneak by on the final lap, but he could not do it. Eric Magnussen wins Eibach GLTC race number 2, 2 of the 4 so far, with much more coming your way from GRIDLIFE Midwest Fest.